All right, let's try this again. So welcome to Mindfulness Month, week 4. My hair's still wet, that's why it looks kind of greasy, but it's just wet. Anyway, now that we've gotten that out of the way, Mindfulness Month, week 4, we are talking about the neuroscience of mindfulness, the science that's behind all this information we have about how beneficial mindfulness actually is for the body and the brain. Now, this morning we had a fantastic Mindful Monday morning meditation with Lauren, and as you know, if you've watched them at all, Lauren kind of takes the theme of the week and does something with that at the beginning of the week, which is really cool. So some of this information, if you watched or did the meditation this morning, might be familiar, but there's a lot of stuff here. So let's kind of get into it, because there's so much, and maybe we're past the days when people used to be like, this is just a load of hooey, that's just malarkey. But there's still people out there who are like, yeah, okay, whatever, woo woo. And it's funny, because the stuff that we always thought was woo woo is actually the stuff that's real. I think it's a little weird, but we've got some science behind us, right? So the first thing that I think is amazing that mindfulness does, it impacts the structure of your brain. It increases the gray matter of your brain. And what's the gray matter? The gray matter is the tissues that make up your brain, which are your neurons, right? The brain cells. It increases brain cells. You get more of them if you meditate, if you're mindful. It's amazing. And one of the areas that this actually goes into, or kind of is studied most often with this effect, is the prefrontal cortex, which is a part of the brain that's responsible for decision making and self-control. And that's something we all need a little bit more of, right? So the other part of the brain that mindfulness really impacts is the amygdala. Now, the amygdala is part of the reptilian brain, which is like the oldest part of the brain, meaning evolutionarily, and it's responsible for some really basic functions, right? The F's, the fear, flight, fight, freeze, and fornication. It's got those basic things in there, and it is really involved in our stress levels. So when you're being mindful, it actually chills out the amygdala. It shrinks the amygdala. It can shrink the amygdala, which means that, since this is the part of the brain that's responsible for the fight or flight response, it chills you out. like actually physically does things in your brain that's like, okay, now your stress level is going to be less. It's, I don't know, it just blows my mind, literally, sort of, literally, almost. It just makes it really, it's cool is what I'm trying to say. So there's also connectivity between the different areas of the brain, specifically the prefrontal cortex to the amygdala. And that is a connection that helps your rational mind control your emotional responses. The amygdala, it is thought and has been kind of shown to be responsible for 90% of our decision making. 90%. We can be, we're these rational beings all we want, but the fact of the matter is that we feel something and then we rationalize doing the choice that goes along with what we feel. So if you can get that under control, you can chill that part of your brain out, you're gonna have a lot more ability to regulate your emotions, which is a big deal. And I was thinking about doing emotional regulation next month, but I think letting it go, and then maybe the next month will be emotional regulation. Who knows? We don't know. We can't predict the future. Although if you do mindfulness enough, I'm just joking. It's not really. That's a different story. It's just completely different. But the point is that the connection between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, as you strengthen the connection, it makes it easier for you to manage emotions more effectively and avoid impulse reactions, which is something that when we do can really screw things up in our lives. So basically, yeah, so that's some brain structure stuff. Now, mindfulness and mental health. Mindfulness, as you know, can be clearly seen in the different structures of the brain that it actually physically changes. It has a serious role in reducing anxiety, but also depression and overall psychological stress. Studies have shown that mindfulness practice can improve the symptoms of anxiety and depression. And that's because, like we've been talking about, it strengthens the ability of the brain to regulate emotions and which helps you stay centered, even in difficult times. Basically, mindfulness is like a workout for your brain. The more you practice, the stronger your brain becomes at handling stress and anxiety. So it's something I like to do a lot of because that's what I need personally. So it doesn't stop there though. It's not just mental health that mindfulness affects. It is also physical health. So it's got some serious physical health benefits as well. It lowers inflammation levels in the body. It reduces blood pressure, and it even boosts your immune system. So while you're calming yourself down, calming your mind, calming your emotions, you're actually improving your overall health. One study said that regular mindfulness meditation can reduce inflammation. I'm not a scientist, so I'm just going to read this. Can reduce inflammation markers like C-reactive protein, which are linked to chronic diseases. So practicing mindfulness isn't just good for your mental health, it's a whole body boost. And it improves cognitive function too. So it's not just depression and anxiety that it relieves and inflammation in the body and lower blood pressure and all this stuff. It also helps you think. So it sharpens focus and memory. Studies have shown that regular mindfulness practices enhances working memory capacity and improves your attention, which both things I need a lot of. This is the good stuff, guys. This is the stuff where it's like, yeah, let's do that. That sounds like a good idea for me. So not only does it help you stay calm, but it boosts your ability to concentrate and think clearly, which, yeah, I could use some more of that. So it's really, this is why you see people all over now embracing mindfulness as these studies are done and scientific backing can be shown. We've got athletes and all kinds of different people, athletes and performers and all these people realizing that mindfulness is the way to go forward. It's not just something that makes you feel good in the moment. It rewires your brain, and it contributes to better mental, emotional, and physical health. So this week, we're going to be exploring all the different ways that meditation can, well, not all of them because there's so many, but many of them. We're going to be exploring many of the different ways that the meditation or mindfulness impacts the brain and how that impacts us. So let us know if you've noticed any difference in your mindfulness practice, any difference it's made in your body or your brain, your concentration levels, your ability to deal with stress. Just join in the conversation. So that's about it for now. I'm pretty grateful for this mindfulness stuff. Pretty cool. So I'm going to remind you guys that even if you are stressed out, you can do some mindfulness, reduce the size of your amygdala, and strengthen the connection between your prefrontal cortex and your amygdala to help you regulate your emotions more efficiently. And you can then always choose to have a grateful day.